Hello. If you go back far enough in any major financial services organisation, you will often find that their humble beginnings were largely altruistic, focused on resolving a community or social issue. At the point of the financial crisis in 2008, the financial services industry seemed to have totally lost sight of those noble beginnings and of the need to serve the societies they were part of. Since then, the industry has repaired and rebuilt itself and worked hard to rebuild confidence and credibility with customers, investors and governments. In 2019, 200 CEOs of the most influential US businesses, as part of the Business Roundtable Consortium, including the largest financial services organisations, issued a comprehensive redefinition of the purpose of a company, with the clear recognition that a focus solely on shareholder value was obsolete. In this session, we will explore what being purpose-led means for financial services companies, how far financial services are on the journey to becoming purpose-led, and where it will take them, and what part the digital economy can play in supporting that journey. We're fortunate enough today to be joined by Rona Turnbull of NatWest. Rona, would you mind introducing yourself?
So I'm Rona Turnbull. I lead on climate, environment and emerging issues at NatWest Group. I work within strategy and had a key role in developing the climate strategy that we launched as part of our wider purpose in February 2020.
Thank you. So first question, I guess, is what does being purpose-led actually mean, and why is it so important to financial services organisations?
So for NatWest Group, it means championing potential, so that the 19 million people, families and businesses right across the UK and Ireland are able to recover from COVID and also to thrive. A really important aspect of this is to make sure that the relationship between the bank and the communities in which we operate and wider society is really recognised and understood. It is only through building kind of deeper and more effective relationships with all of our stakeholders that we'll be able to succeed in our purpose-led strategy.
Thank you. The connection between sustainability and purpose-led, what does that mean for you, and how does that relate to the UN's Sustainability Development Goals?
So we were one of the founding signatories of the Principles for Responsible Banking, which is run by the United Nations Environment Programme. And through that, we have committed to align our overall strategy to meet the Sustainable Development Goals and also to align what we're doing to the outcomes of the 2015 Paris Agreement. To do so, we have identified some 7 SDGs, which most closely align to our overall purpose themes of climate, learning and enterprise.
A question related to Fujitsu's point of view on this. Fujitsu very much sees that in the future, purpose-led ecosystems of multiple organisations will address some of today's biggest societal problems. Is that something that you recognise? And if so, what part can financial services play in those ecosystems?
Yes, absolutely. The only way that we're going to be able to meet the needs of the Sustainable Development Goals and also tackle the climate challenge is by working collaboratively, both within the sector and more broadly. And an example of that would be the Sustainable Buildings and Homes Coalition, which brings together different parties from across the ecosystem to work together to really focus on how do we improve the energy efficiency of the UK building stock, as that's going to be a fundamental piece of the puzzle as to how we're going to get to net zero by 2050.
And while we're on climate, and we've talked a lot about climate, NatWest have been the main financial services sponsor for COP26, the climate summit in 2021. Why did you do that? What does it mean for NatWest to be in that position?
So we're the leading UK business bank. We have 19 million retail banking customers and we employ 60,000 employees across our business. So therefore we felt that we have the responsibility to take action on climate. And through our climate strategy that was launched in February 2020, one of the overarching commitments that we made at that point was we were going to halve the climate impact of our financing activity by 2030, based on 2019 as a baseline. What this means is that we're looking at how do we support our customers to transition. But this isn't just about setting targets, it's about that actual transition. What are the solutions that we can provide as a financial provider to support our customers take that action. And ultimately, we felt that the importance of the role that we can play and our stakeholders and wider customers for climate is kind of just so important. So that's why we wanted to be a real supporter of the COP in Glasgow.
Thank you. A really exciting thing to be doing. Once again, Fujitsu is a technology company, and clearly we believe that technology has a part to play. Is that something that you recognise in supporting becoming purpose-led?
Yes, absolutely. Technology has a huge role to play within this, and in particular on the data aspects. Some of the, particularly in climate data, is really quite difficult to either access or to understand and comprehend. So technology enables us to make better purpose-led decisions, and what we've been doing is looking at our retail customers, and we've worked with Kogo to help our retail customers better understand what's the climate impacts of their day-to-day spending, what actions could they then take, and how could they change their behaviours, and what resources are available to support them in doing that. And that's just one example. I think there's a huge amount of potential in what technology and data can do to support the climate transition.
Thank you. Last question is, if I look at what some organisations are doing in becoming purpose-led, it's beginning to influence what they actually do for their customers. And I guess a really good example of that is NatWest has moved to offer green mortgages to support its ambitions around reducing emissions. Is that something you see continuing? Do you see a change in your business focus as a result of becoming purpose-led?
Yes, to some extent, but actually this is something that we've been doing at NatWest for a very long time. And to look at our learning focus pillar and financial capability, one of the areas that we've been working on since 1994 was the Money Sense programme. And this is looking to support young people to better understand their money from that very early age. And last year, as part of the financial capability broader commitments, is how do we support 2.5 million people on an annual basis to better manage their money. So that could be through Money Sense, but also through the financial health checks and other resources as well.
Thank you, Rona. And thank you for joining us. Hopefully you found that interesting and insightful as much as I have. We focused in on what becoming purpose-led means to a financial services organisation. And I'm sure you'll agree that many of the aspects of becoming purpose-led relate not just to financial services, but other industries too. Thank you once again.